Admiral Zixthor's mandibles clicked with satisfaction as his vast armada settled into formation around the blue marble of Earth. 3,000 ships of the galactic hegemony hung in the void like predatory shadows, their hulls bristling with weapons that had conquered 100 worlds. Each vessel was a monument to the hegemony's unstoppable march across the galaxy, and now they had come for the last holdout, humanity. "Signal the primitives," Zixthor commanded, his 4 eyes gleaming with anticipation. "Tell them they have 1 solar cycle to surrender unconditionally." The communications officer, a chitinous Veltari, worked at his console with practiced efficiency. "Admiral, transmission sent on all frequencies. We await their response." Hours passed, then days. The silence from Earth was absolute. "Perhaps their communication systems are too primitive to decode our message," suggested Commander Kilhash, the tactical officer whose crystalline form pulsed with nervous energy. Zixthor's laugh was a harsh rasp. "No matter. Silence is answer. Enough. These humans have seen our fleet, 3,000 ships of the line, enough firepower to crack their moon in half. If they choose to cower in silence rather than beg for mercy, so be it." The Admiral had studied the intelligence reports extensively. Humanity was barely a Type 1 civilization, confined to their single world with only primitive satellites and a few mining outposts on their moon. They had no shields, no energy weapons, no faster-than-light travel. Their most advanced vessels were chemical-propelled toys that couldn't even reach their nearest planetary neighbor. "Sir," the sensor operator interrupted, "we're detecting some unusual energy signatures from the planet's surface." "Define unusual," Zixthor demanded. "Thermal blooms, Admiral, massive ones, emerging from what appear to be underground installations. The signatures are intense." The Admiral's mandibles clicked dismissively. "Industrial facilities shutting down, no doubt, preparing for the inevitable. Continue monitoring." But as the hours stretched on, the energy readings only intensified. Deep beneath Earth's crust, in installations that hadn't appeared on any orbital scan, something was awakening. Something that had been waiting. Dr. Sarah Chen stood in the command bunker 3 kilometers beneath the Colorado Rockies, her eyes fixed on the holographic display showing the alien fleet. Around her, the Deep Earth Defense Initiative hummed with activity, a project so classified that most world leaders didn't know it existed. "Project Prometheus is at full readiness," reported General Martinez, his weathered face grim but determined. "All 7 installations are online." Sarah nodded, her fingers dancing across her control interface. For 60 years, humanity had known this day would come. The radio telescopes had detected the signals, the death cries of civilizations across the galaxy, all following the same pattern. First contact, demands for surrender, then silence. The hegemony was methodical, predictable, and absolutely ruthless. But humanity had learned something important from studying those death cries. Every species that fell had tried to fight the hegemony in space, on their terms, with their technology. None had thought to make the attackers come down to them. "How long until the gravitational lensing array is aligned?" Sarah asked. 14 minutes, came the reply from the sensor station. 14 minutes until they could deploy humanity's greatest secret and greatest gamble. Above, Admiral Zixthor grew impatient. "Weapons officer, target their major population centers. If they won't respond to diplomacy, perhaps a demonstration of force will loosen their tongues." "Sir, I'm reading massive gravitational anomalies around the planet," the sensor operator called out, his voice pitched higher with alarm. "The readings don't make sense. It's as if space-time itself is bending." The Admiral's confident demeanor cracked slightly. "That's impossible. They're primitives." His words were cut off as the stars around Earth began to shift. Not the ships, the stars themselves, their light bending and twisting as 7 points around the planet became focal nodes for impossible forces. Dr. Chen watched the displays with satisfaction as the gravitational lensing array came online. 7 massive installations, each built around a precisely engineered microscopic black hole, had taken decades to construct. They had drained the resources of nations, required breakthroughs in physics that shouldn't have been possible for centuries, and represented humanity's single greatest achievement. "Target acquired," announced the weapons coordinator. "We have a firing solution on the alien fleet. Execute Operation Solar Flare," Sarah commanded. The effect was instantaneous. The 7 lensing stations focused the combined output of Earth's sun into a coherent beam of pure stellar fire. The concentrated fury of a star, channeled and directed by humanity's desperate ingenuity, lanced out toward the hegemony fleet. Admiral Zixthor had perhaps 3 seconds to understand what was happening before the beam struck his flagship. The focused sunlight, compressed and intensified beyond imagination, didn't just destroy, it vaporized. His ship, and the 100 vessels around it, simply ceased to exist, converted to plasma in an instant. The beam swept through the fleet like a scythe through wheat. Ships that had conquered star systems died without firing a shot, their crews never even understanding how primitives had wielded the power of stars themselves. In minutes it was over. Where 3,000 ships had hung in space, only expanding clouds of superheated gas remained. Dr. Chen allowed herself one moment of grim satisfaction before turning to her staff. "Begin sweep protocols. Any escape pods or survivors get the same treatment, and signal Deep Space Command it's time to activate the Diaspora Protocol." General Martinez raised an eyebrow. "The colony ships? The hegemony found us once," Sarah replied, her voice cold with determination. "In a few years they'll send a larger fleet, but by then humanity will be spread across 1,000 worlds. Let them try to catch us all." As the last traces of the alien fleet dissipated into cosmic dust, Earth's sky gradually cleared. The planet that had seemed so helpless, so primitive, had revealed its true nature. Humanity hadn't been cowering in silence. They had been preparing. They had been waiting. The galaxy would learn a new lesson that day. Sometimes the prey had teeth sharper than the predator ever imagined. And sometimes silence wasn't surrender, it was the calm before the storm.